that time, y'all. Time for Big Boys Boxing.
If you think I'm a pussy, I'm a punk, you tell me right now. Because listen, I am the baddest man you ever fucking meet.
So that'll give a bit of energy.
Yeah.
It's good night. It is all over in the 11th round.
What is going on, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing, and today we're going to talk about some non-heavyweight action that happened over the weekend. Yeah, it was a big fight, and I do this from time to time. Stray away from those big boys and have a look at some of the action that happened over the weekend. So let me get a couple of things sorted here while a few of you roll in. And hopefully we can get some opinions. So, over the weekend, Teofemo, the Takeover Lopez, unanimous decisions. Vasyl Lomachenko, the 3-weight champion, the 2.5 belt lightweight champion. And why I say 2.5 is he holds that franchise belt. And I see Mauricio Solomon's been trying to promote that as the real belt for the WBC, and ESPN was saying this was for Undisputed. It never was, man. It never was. Go look at BoxRec. There's no WBC belt on the line. There never was. The franchise champion cannot lose the belt in the ring. It is not a championship. It is a designation. However, man, gotta give a big congratulations to Teofemo Lopez. There ain't many people who thought he could do this. I'm not saying people didn't think he could win. I'm saying most people didn't think he could win on points. And I was one of those people. Teofemo fucked up my shit when it came to my bets for the weekend. But hey, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I had a bet on Teofemo to KO Lomachenko in the first 4 rounds. And I had a bet on Lomachenko to stop Teofemo from rounds 10 to 12. Those were my 2 standalone bets. I also had a multi-bet with Lomachenko just for the win in there. So Teo fucked up all my bets. But like I said, a big congratulations to the dude, man. It was a good performance. It was a good performance. So, just about got all my shit sorted here, hopefully. Just looking at a couple of other things just to make sure that it's all tickety-boo before I start dropping links and whatnot. I'll get into my scorecard and the scorecards of the officials shortly. Just give me a sec, sound checking. To my scorecard, it's all good. We've got a few in the house. I'll just drop a link in the chat and I'll pin it to the top for anybody who might like to jump on and come and have a yarn about this fight, the results, what it means for the division, so on and so forth. But just about finished getting my shit organized here. There's a link in the chat that is pinned to the top so nobody will miss it. And yeah, so we've got Marla in the house. Good to have you in, brother. I couldn't even give him the second round. Yeah, man, I'll get to that shortly. Hopefully some of y'all might want to jump on and have a chat about this. MMA champ in the house as well. Good to have you in, brother. And Gareth Hancock also in the house. Great to see yous, man. Great to see yous. So there is a link in the chat there if anybody wants to jump on. Now, the scores. I think there was some big stuff ups there. Well, at least one big stuff up. Looking at the scores, we had where are they? We had Tim Cheatham. He scored at 116, 112. That's the same as my scorecard. I had it 116, 112 as well. Julie Letterman had it 119 to 109. That bitch has got to go. Seriously. You only gave Loma one round? That's absolute bullshit. She got to go, man. She must have been doing what's his name? Oh, the other week. Oh no, it was the Lewis Ritson fight, wasn't it? Where what's his name? Terry. Is it Terry No, not Terry McDonald. I don't know, that dodgy dude in the UK who was supposed to be reffing a fight, but scoring a fight, but he's scrolling through his freaking cell phone. And he gave a wide decision to the guy who won, but it shouldn't have been a win. I think it was the Ritson fight. And Steve Weisfeld gave it 117, 111. I think that's pushing it too. Now, how I scored the fight. First round to Teo. Second round to Teo. But I've got a little mark next to it. It was a little bit closer round. Third round to Teo. Fourth round to Teo. Fifth round to Teo. Sixth round to Teo. Seventh round to Teo. And the seventh round, I think, possibly could have gone either way. I thought that was starting to get a little bit closer when Loma was starting to try and pour it on. I gave 8, 9, 10 and 11 to Loma. When he started pouring it on, he was having great success. But I don't think he counted on Teofemo being able to handle it. And I think he thought because Teo doesn't usually go the distance in fights, that means he's going to gas. But I think he calculated that wrong. Because Teo made the last round extremely competitive, and I gave the last round to Teo as well. Now, I wouldn't argue with 115, 111 if anybody gave that 7th round to to Loma. And I wouldn't argue with the draw if they gave both the 7th and the 12th round to Loma, because they were closer rounds. But there ain't no way in hell Loma won this fight. Not a shit show. He left his run far too late. And I think we've got to credit Teofemo Lopez for that. Because I don't think Loma counted on him being able to maintain his power. I think he underestimated Teo's speed and his ability to stay pretty damn quick for the entire fight. So I think only Loma has himself to blame for this loss, man. But like I say, I wouldn't argue too much with the draw, because there's like 2 swing rounds in there that could have gone either way, depending on what you like. I wouldn't argue with 115, 113. And my score, of course I wouldn't argue with 116, 112. But I think 117, 111 is going a bit far, because definitely Loma won rounds 8 through 11. Marla's going to jump on soon. Awesome. Phil Carl Roberts in the house as well. Terry O'Connor, that's his name. Thanks, Phil. My old fart brain's playing up a bit. And drank a fair bit of homebrewed vodka this weekend, so still feeling the effects a little bit. Yeah, I was switching between rounds with the fight. I had to keep flicking over to watch my other screen because the All Blacks were playing the Wallabies playing rugby this weekend as well. And last weekend they had a 16-all draw, so I was pretty interested in it. It's definitely my second sport to watch is rugby, and when it's Australia and New Zealand, there's always that trans-Tasman rivalry. And when it's been close to game before, shit, I couldn't miss. But the All Blacks won by 20 points, 27-7. Back to how it should be. Right. Christian, woo, good to have you in, brother. I thought Loma only earned 2 rounds. Well, which 2 rounds? Hold on, let me finish. They're 2 rounds, and maybe you can give him 1 even round. I don't score even rounds. Ever. Ever. You gotta pick a winner for a round in my opinion. If you look at a round and you think it's even, there's got to be some points that you can pick out that will tip it over the edge for me. But I can't see how you didn't give 8, 9, 10 and 11 to Loma. Seriously. When he decided to actually try and pour it on, he was landing much more clean and effective work. He was pushing Lopez back. Lopez couldn't defend against it when he started using the matrix style with his angles, his unorthodox punches coming from everywhere. But like I say, he left it too late, and I think we've got to credit Lopez with him being able to negate Loma's run. He made him think that, okay, I'll have to wait longer until this young dude slows down and loses a bit of power. And when he finally did start trying to pour it on, for me, that didn't begin until round 7, and that was a closer round. But yeah, it was just too little too late. And I think it's because Teo's power, his speed, and his youth gave him the ability to stop Loma in his tracks from, launching an attack in the 4th or 5th round like he usually does. Loma won 8, 11, 9. 9 was even. No, man. Like I said, I don't give any even rounds ever. That's just me. But I have no bias in this fight either, because I'm not a big fan of smaller weight divisions, so I'm not looking at who I wanted to win or anything like that. Yeah, I did have some bets on it, but I had bets on both guys, different methods at different parts of the fight. So I only put a little bit of money on it because it ups the interest for me, because otherwise I'm really just not that much interested. Particularly when they're trying to say it's undisputed when it's not. It's definitely disputed when if Lopez can't win the franchise championship, then how was it for undisputed? They're saying that because, or they were saying that because they thought Loma was going to win, and they wanted to give him this big legacy title tag to make him much more of a cash cow. But it didn't come off. And now, Teofemo is not undisputed, even though he beat the guy who's apparently holding 3 belts. But really, it was only 2 belts. It was only the WBA and the WBO that was on the line for Loma. There's still Devin Haney out there with the WBC belt. The one that's actually been fought for, won and lost by champions in the ring for however long the WBC has been around. I'm on Discord, Jono. Where do I click? Hold on, mate. If you go down the right hand side there, you should see live panel. Click on that and it should drop you straight in there, mate. That's if you're on the Discord server. But if that's not working for you, you should be able to just click straight on the link that's in YouTube there that I dropped. It should drop you straight into that. I'll just make sure I drop the right link. Give me a sec here. Shit. I'll drop a second invite link just to make sure I got the right one. I'm pretty sure I have. Pretty sure I dropped the right one, but we'll drop another one just in case. There it is. Hopefully it's the same link. I'll repin that one to the top. That one should be good. Hopefully that'll let you in now, Marla. You just got, yeah, look down the left hand side and there's a whole list of channels. You want the one that says live panel, click on that and it should drop you straight in, brother. Loma was overhyped from the beginning. No, I'm not gonna buy that shit, man. Loma is a great boxer. He's a great boxer, and he just came up against a much bigger guy who's younger, hungrier, hits harder, and he's at his natural weight at 135. He's talking about going up to 140. Loma couldn't go up to 140. Well, he could, and he could beat some people, but he's not going to beat the champions in that weight division, in my opinion. I click on it and it says I have to claim the account. What the? I'm not sure what that means. It's supposed to give you temporary membership. I'll just have a quick look at some settings on it. I'm pretty sure it's open to all. Where are we? Live panel overview. Permissions. We've got some stuff ups here. Hold on. Everyone can view channel. Everyone connect. Speak. Oh man. I don't know why these settings have changed. Video, no, we don't need video. Mute members, deafen members, no. Move members, no. Save changes. Alright, try again now, Marla, and see if it lets you in now. I've just changed a couple of settings to make sure that it's going to try and let you in. Hopefully it will let you in now. I don't know why it's done that. But I'm not buying this Loma's overhyped. Yeah, a guy who wins lots of fights across different divisions definitely deserves to be hyped. I didn't think he'd done enough to be pound for pound number one like the promoters and the networks were saying. You got to remember, these guys are going to they're gonna hype the fighters that are on their network. Of course they are. I never thought Loma's the best boxer ever or anything like that, and like I said, I don't think he was pound for pound number one. He certainly isn't now, but I don't know, man. You had this problem last time. Hello from UK. Good to have you in, David Mason. You know, if they did happen to have a rematch, I think there's a possibility that Loma could beat Teo if he tried pouring it on earlier. But at the same time, if he tried doing that, there's a possibility he could get knocked the fuck out as well. I still think a rematch is a very interesting fight for them both. But pretty much guarantee you, the look on Teofemo's face through rounds 8, 9, 10 and 11, where he couldn't negate what Lomachenko was doing, just the look on his face suggests to me, no, I don't need a rematch because I might lose. And I saw an article in Boxing Scene saying, a rematch? What for? The same thing will happen. So he's making excuses to not have a rematch immediately. Says I have to claim and verify my account. Oh yeah, okay. Well, that's what it is, Mala. They just they'll send an email to your account, and you have to verify it through there if you really wanted to get on. But you can do that anytime if you didn't want to rush on today, man. Loma underestimated Teo's speed. Yeah, I agree. And Teo... Oh, chat moved. And Teo looked more composed than people expected him to be. Spot on, Mala. I agree. You know, just because a guy's fights end early most of the time doesn't mean he doesn't have a gas tank. Doesn't mean he can't stay composed going through tough times. And I believe going through rounds 8, 9, 10 and 11, I can't remember which round it was one of those where Teo looked in a little bit of trouble for a second. He got hurt, so he pulled through adversity. He stayed calm, and that's not a big characteristic of a young man of only 23 years old. So I think Teofemo really has to be congratulated here for doing what a lot of people thought he couldn't do. And like I said earlier, I'm one of them, but he is the real deal at 135, and I want to see him go and take that belt off Devin Haney that he got gifted because Loma didn't want to fight his mandatory, right? I think Loma's gonna start racking up losses. Fighters are seeing through his flashy tricks. Well, those hooks that Teofemo was throwing to the body, left and right hooks, was stopping Lomachenko doing his big time lateral movements, and they were hurting him. That's why he didn't want to get too flashy. But, you know, sitting around waiting for the young man to tire out, when you ain't throwing punches to the body, when you ain't making him throw and miss all the time, ain't gonna tire a young man out. So I think Loma reached his ceiling. But I do think at 135, Teofemo Lopez is the cream of the crop right now. This, like we've seen, Lomachenko can beat the likes of Luke Campbell. I think he'd beat Regis Prograis. There's plenty of fighters Loma can beat at 135. For me, Lomachenko is just number 2 at lightweight. Simple as that. Right now, unless he can manage to get a rematch, he didn't put a rematch clause in the contract. Whoopsies! So, you know, he's got to get down on his knees and beg and find a way to get Lopez to get back in the ring with him. I had Lopez winning 115, 113. Yep, I wouldn't argue with that, David Mason. Like I had it 116, 112, but for me there was round 7 and round 12 were pretty close. You could have picked either guy in those rounds. There's a lot of people saying round 2 was very close, but I disagree. I thought the first half of the round, Lopez landed a really good right hand at one stage, along with a few other punches, but throughout the whole round, he was pumping that jab to the body. He was, every time Loma looked like he was going to throw something, Teo would beat him to it to stop him. Now, in the second half of that round, Loma landed a good straight left hand with the right hook, I think it was, as well. And everybody's saying, oh, the second half of the round, Loma won. But still, that was only a 20-second spurt, if that. Maybe a 10-second spurt. And the rest of the time in that round, Lopez was still dropping that jab to the body. He was still hooking to the body. Here and there, he was still trying to throw shots at the head as well, stopping Loma throwing. So I think that second round for me was a clear Lopez round. So we have Marla. You made it in, brother.
Yeah, mate. How's it going?
Not too bad. So how did you score the fight, brother?
I scored the fight 116-112. I gave Teo the first 7 rounds in the 12th round. And I didn't give Loma the second round like the commentators were trying to, because I went back and watched the round, and I felt that Teo dominated probably 2 minutes 30 of that round. And they said, Loma landed a good punch. Well, Teo landed punches in that round as well.
Agreed.
You know, and he dominated more of the round, so that's how I scored it. And I just honestly can't believe some people are trying to even say that Loma drew the fight. I had it 116-112. Even if you gave Loma the second round, it would still be 115-113 to Lopez.
Yep.
There's no way Loma won that fight. He just didn't do enough, man. He gave away, close to the first 7 rounds of the fight, and he just dug a hole for himself that he couldn't get out of.
Agreed.
And I think he underestimated. Teo looked powerful in there, but he looked fast. He had a good plan, but he showed composure beyond his years. A lot of people said, Teo's inexperienced, he's not going to be able to handle Loma. He looked totally composed in there. And even when Loma had the advantage and was hammering him, he just sucked it up and come back firing.
Damn right. Bite down on that mouthpiece and still get the job done. Don't lose your shit. He did really well, man.
Yeah, man.
Big shout out to Koi Matai. Thank you very much for the super chat there, brother. He said that was a clinic from Teo he put on. So, yeah, I thought he fought a very smart fight myself. Did you think the 12th round was pretty close, Marla?
I thought Teo took it.
Yeah?
I thought he genuinely hurt Loma at probably the last, 30 seconds or so of that 12th round. I thought he genuinely hurt Loma, and I gave that round to Teo.
Yeah, and
I thought he looked stronger.
I really didn't like how I thought the referee saw that Loma got a bit hurt, and he stopped the fight with 12 seconds to go because of a head clash. It's 12 seconds, man. He's trying to give Loma a little breather.
And Loma was doing those butts on purpose.
That second one, I believe he probably did try and do it on purpose. There was one earlier in the fight as well. Must have been about round 6 or something like that. It was just before Loma started trying to pour it on. I don't know if that one was as intentional, because it seemed like both guys just seemed to come forward at the same time. But I haven't rewatched the fight. I'm just come to this belief now that if you watch a fight close enough, you're just like the judges. They don't get a second chance to watch it. So I think you got to give your firm opinion before you go and rewatch it. And if your opinion changes after that, then you can bring it out.
Like I picked Teo on points going into the fight. I watched a lot of footage of him, and I felt he could pull it off. He's a young, fast, athletic guy, good speed, good power. He's very confident. As I say, he showed composure beyond his years. I just think they underestimated him. A lot of people are trying to say now that Loma's a hype job, and I don't agree with that. I just think he started too slow.
Yeah.
Now, if Loma, if they had a rematch and he said, you know what, I'm going to come out of the blocks and put a bit more pressure on early, he may be able to win a rematch. But then again, he may open himself up to counters and get cracked. But I think he could have a chance in a rematch, Loma. I wouldn't write the guy off.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch and seeing if Loma can make those adjustments. But like you say, I definitely don't think Loma is any kind of hype job. He's already punching above his natural weight. And I think he's still, right now, the solid number 2 of the division. And that doesn't mean he's a hype job. No way. I mean, of course, there's a lot of people out there who do a lot of this nut hugging. Hey, so
I think yeah, carry on.
No, you go, mate. You go. I was pretty much
Yeah,
done.
I think the thing with the boxing, you've noted, like with Triple G, guys literally idolize him like he was a god.
Yep.
You've got people who idolize Loma like he's a god. So when these guys lose, they just can't bring themselves to admit it. It was like the other week with the Charlos. People hate the Charlos so much they couldn't find it in themselves to give them credit for fighting well and winning.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I picked Jamal to win his fight. And even when he won, people saying, oh, Jamal, you know, he did this wrong and that wrong. He's not that good. It's like, come on, man. Just give them their props.
Damn right.
You know, they fought a good fight. Both brothers. They won. Good on them.
Yep.
And I just feel with like with Loma, he just lost, man. He started too slow. He dug a hole for himself he couldn't get out of. It doesn't mean he's a bad fighter, but he just made a mistake.
Yep. I think, like BBoxingonyt has just said in the chat here, Loma starting better would likely win the fight. I could see that happening, as we don't see Loma getting gassed in fights. So if he did start earlier, he could have more success. But like Marla was saying, it definitely leaves him more open to being countered by a bigger, stronger guy who is pretty damn quick as well. So, you know, I think if Loma did start early, the bets that I had put on, being Teo knockout round to 4 or Loma knockout 10 to 12, would have been more likely, one way or the other. But yeah, I'm not one to say Loma's any kind of hype job. No way. And what do you think of the situation? Is Teofemo considered undisputed at 135?
Got 4 belts, doesn't he?
No.
No.
He had the mock belt for the WBC, but if you go and look at BoxRec, there's no WBC belt on the line in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Devin Haney has the recognised belt, doesn't he?
Oh, well then he's not. No, I guess you can't call him undisputed.
And also, Mauricio Solomon said the WBC franchise champion cannot lose his belt in the ring. It is not a championship, it is a designation. Now, I did notice last week he came out and he was trying to, how do I put this? He was trying to validate Lomachenko's franchise title as a title that can be used for Undisputed, and saying Devin Haney's belt wasn't the recognized belt anymore. So how does that work?
I'm just going through these. I just got some rankings here. Hang on a sec. So you've got, let's see, at 135. So, you know, so Teo's got, let's see. Teo's got the IBF.
Yep.
The WBA.
Yep.
And the WBO.
Yep.
Okay. And so the WBC title, who's got the proper one?
Devin Haney.
Right. Well then Teo's going to have to go and get that to say he's undisputed then.
Yep. I did notice in the after-match comments, Teo was saying, yeah, I'll fight Devin Haney for his email belt. That's pretty disrespectful, man. That belt was the most prestigious belt for many years, until recent years for me. So I think Mauricio Solomon's dad, would be turning over in his grave with this shit he's trying to pull
Oh,
with the.
mate. Just got a question here from Boxing Knowing. Did we see Loma hurt him? Well, I think he hurt Teo a few times.
Yeah,
I thought Teo felt it, but I think he sucked it up. You know, he was there to win. He gritted his teeth and what he had to.
yeah, it was through those rounds 8, 9, 10, 11. I think it was about 9 and 10, one of those. He started backing Teo up at points, and but yeah, like you say, got to give credit to Teo for biting down on that mouthpiece and not panicking. But I was starting to worry for Teo. I was starting to think, he's starting to look a bit. He doesn't know what to do because the punches were coming from everywhere. So he's still got.
I felt that.
Yeah, he's still got some stuff to work on, but dude's 23.
Yeah,
you know,
he was losing. He started losing round after round, and then that's when I started thinking, oh geez, you know, the more experienced fighters coming on, is Teo going to gas? I did have some concerns, but yeah, you know, he grit his teeth, he got through it, and he'll be better for it.
I think so.
It's going to be a huge experience for him.
Yep. David Mason says Loma, 18 months younger, would have taken it. What do you reckon?
Well, I don't think age was the problem in there.
I agree.
No, I just think he respected Teo's punching power as he should have. And I think Teo's speed probably surprised him a little bit, and the combination of the power and the speed made Loma a little bit more hesitant. No, he wasn't that keen to get in there because he knew he could pay the price. And once he got brave, he realised he had to get brave. Loma, he had to get going, and he did, and he started being successful. But I don't think age was an issue, just my opinion. But
yeah, I'd tend to agree. I'd think maybe having that much time out of the ring may have had more effect than the age thing. I mean, he's only 32. It's not like he's 37, 38, 39.
Bud Crawford turned 33 in September.
Yeah. Is he old?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, maybe some kind of tune-up fight right in the middle of COVID would have done him some good, but you know, being one of the stars of boxing, it's pretty hard to get these guys in the ring without a crowd because it's hard to pay them when there's no gate. So
yeah, I think the thing for Loma, and you got to look at Loma. His punches were accurate. They were quick. He didn't look old. He didn't look ring rusty. He just started too slow. He just looked too cautious.
Yeah. Yep. Boxing Nose says nothing really to say. Loma couldn't take what Teo could deal. So pretty much it. Man, I think a rematch could be interesting. There'd be a lot more different tactics from Loma. He'd know what to expect. And, you know, I don't think... Well, those first 2 rounds, I think he kind of got a bit of a shock. Ooh, these body shots are actually hurting. There was one of the... It was like a hybrid uppercut in the second round. The first half almost lifted Loma off the freaking ground. You know, so...
Yeah.
I'd be inclined to run from that for a little while too.
I was surprised going into the fight how some people were dismissive of Teo.
Yeah.
Oh, Loma's going to school him. Loma's got the experience. I was looking at footage of Teo. I went through and just found what I could of him, and I thought, man, this guy's fast and this guy can crack.
Yeah.
You know, you got to take this guy seriously. And you know, it didn't surprise me that Teo went in and fought the way he did. You know, he's got some quality to him. It was obvious watching footage of him. I just felt some of the Loma fans were a little bit too confident. Yeah,
they're all going off experience and resume. Just because a guy hasn't fought at that level doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to be able to handle it. So you got to be careful when you're predicting matches with these young up-and-coming prospects who haven't been in there. Sure, the resume says that they're going to get a hiding, but the resume isn't in the ring, is it?
That's right, man. I've got Boxing Knowing here saying, I think a rematch Loma would win. It's not like it was a one-sided fight, and that's true, you know. I think if as we said earlier, if Loma just put his foot on the pedal a bit more and looked to be a bit more assertive, that's got to be worth a couple of rounds. I thought the scores in the fight were atrocious.
Yeah, one of them got it the same as us two,
Yep.
but the others 117, 111, and
Yeah.
that Julie Letterman, 109 to 119. That's disgusting, man.
Oh, that's horrific. Like I scored at 116, 112, and if someone scored at 115, 113, I'd be happy with that. I could live with that.
Yeah.
I don't believe the fight was a draw or Loma won the fight, but I certainly don't think Loma only won 3 rounds.
Yep.
You know, those other 2 scores were terrible.
Yeah. I wouldn't argue also with 113, 115. If someone scored a draw, I wouldn't agree with it, but I wouldn't say you don't know what you're watching because it's not that far-fetched. But if someone told me Loma won the fight, I'm going to say you're blind. You know? Yeah. So, but all in all, it was a really entertaining fight to watch. I was a little bit disappointed that Loma didn't try a little bit earlier on because I think he could have pulled it out. But, yeah, great fight to watch. I ended up watching the entire card, and that's not like me when there's no heavyweights on there. But, you know, it was a good day's boxing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Did you also watch the Ritson card at all earlier in the morning?
No, that was on Sky, but no, I didn't catch that. I was, I was getting frustrated with Sky, man. Didn't show the Loma fight. They didn't show the Charlo fights. It's like, come on, man.
I think they're going down, to be honest, bro. Spark
Yeah,
Sports taking over.
They haven't got the money. I don't think they've got the money to bid with Spark for the fights. What's the big fight coming up that Spark got?
Parker Farr.
Parker Farr, yeah, that's right, mate.
Yeah.
Sky hasn't got it. They haven't got the money to compete with Spark.
Yeah. And we've also got DAZN is going to be launching here next year. And there's already a lot of guys who have it as beta testers here as well. So, you know, a lot of the people who are beta testers are going to get that fight for free down here. Because they'll get it through the DAZN. So, yeah, it is what it is. And by the way, people, this is Sky New Zealand we're talking about, not Sky UK. Just to clear that up.
Yeah, now they're letting their game slip, Sky. They've waited too long to try and reorganise the business. Yeah,
man, totally. Right, I haven't even thought about what's on next weekend, but
when's Usyk Chisora?
Halloween, bro. That one's on Halloween, so that's a couple of weeks away.
It's going to be good, mate.
Looking forward to that one. There's also Allen and Hammer on that card as well now.
Oh my God, mate! I fear for Dave Allen. I have to say, shame on the promoters for continuously giving this guy fights and putting him out there.
I guess people seem to like him, but I think it's starting to wear a bit thin now.
I just fear for the guy. I just fear for him. I just feel like defensively he's shit. And you look at what happened in that Price fight. I just fear for the guy.
Yeah.
I really do, mate. It's
He-
almost like a gimmick.
Yeah. He should be fighting top domestic level. I don't think he's even European level. I'm sure there's some guys in the European circuit he could beat. But I think Hammer's going to beat him. I think Hammer's going to beat him quite badly.
I do too. I think, yeah.
And not many people think much of Christian Hammer, but most of the people who think those things are the guys who saw him against Alexander Povetkin, who saw him against Luis Ortiz. These guys are levels and levels above Dave Allen.
I mean, yeah.
But they forget that Christian Hammer's the guy who took the O of Michelle Wallace. He knocked out Erkin Tepper as well. He can punch and he can fight. It's just when he's at an elite level, he tends to shell up and survive. But Dave Allen ain't no elite level, man.
No, and I mean, Christian Hammer went 12 rounds with Povetkin.
Yeah, he did shell up, and he was having some success even in that fight at times. I mean, he was shelled up most of the time, but when he did try and throw his hands, he was actually landing some decent shots. So, he's not a bum. He's a
No,
he's a
he went 10 rounds without tears.
yeah.
You know, it's no, I don't think this is going to go well for Dave Allen, mate. I think Allen will actually probably get stopped.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think he'll probably get stopped later on too. I think it's in. I'm gonna look it up how many rounds it is. It's probably a 10 rounder.
10 rounds. Yep.
Yeah.
10 rounds.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a referee step in and stop the fight in somewhere between 8 and 10. I don't think he's going to get knocked out unless he's taken so many beatings that the nerves in his jaw are starting to get pretty weak or something like that. But
Yep. Oh, got a thing here. It was this David Mason. I don't know why people are getting excited over Usyk Chisora. I'm just excited about it because it's a step-up fight for Usyk. You know, he's only had one fight at heavyweight where he didn't look that convincing. So, and this is a real test for him. So it's just going to be interesting to see how he takes a heavyweight punch and can handle the pressure Chisora's going to put on him.
yeah,
That's what I'm sort of looking forward to in the fight.
it's a gauge fight for Usyk at heavyweight. I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, I don't think Chisora is going to beat him or doesn't have much of a chance of beating him. Sure, there's a puncher's chance for Chisora, but don't forget, Chisora is shorter. He has a shorter reach. Usyk's taller than him, and we don't know what weight Usyk's going to be at. Usyk could be at a similar weight to Chisora by the time this fight comes around. It's been a long time since he's been in the ring.
Yeah, I'm going for Usyk on points. What's Chisora? 6'1.5", 74-inch reach, and Usyk is 6'3" with 78-inch reach. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Usyk on points on this one.
Yeah. I've been back and watching a few of the fights that Usyk had against the bigger heavyweights like Joe Joyce and Junior Farr in the World Series of Boxing, and man, those, I mean,
David Mason. Oh, here's David. What do you mean Usyk didn't look convincing versus Witherspoon? Well, Witherspoon's a pretty average fighter, and I wasn't overawed by what I saw from Usyk. You overawed by what you saw, Jono, in the Witherspoon fight?
no, it wasn't a flash fight for Usyk. I mean, Witherspoon isn't exactly a good opponent, Chaz Witherspoon, but let's just have a quick look. How many times has Chaz Witherspoon been stopped? I don't think he's been stopped very often, and he got retired in that fight after 7 rounds over with Usyk, right? He got TKO'd in the 3rd round by Seth Mitchell, who at the time was 24-0-1. Who else was his next loss? He's got TKO'd in 9 rounds out of 10 against Tony Thompson, and that was back in 2009. So that was pretty close to Tony Thompson's prime. Who knows if he was on steroids then, like he was against David Price? Oh no, that was Steve.
Yeah,
Was that
he
Steve?
did.
Cunningham?
He made yes. David Mason again. He made him quit an upper case. It's like, yeah, he did,
Yeah.
mate. He did, but he didn't dazzle you. That's the point I'm making. I didn't watch the fight and say, "Oh my God, wow, Usyk's going to rule the world." That's the point I'm making. It wasn't that kind of performance. It was solid, and that's it. So this fight against Chisora, we're looking to see if he can bring more.
Yeah, and we definitely know exactly where Chisora stands when it comes to his skills, what he can do. We've seen him in the ring plenty of times, so this is a gauge fight, and for a lot of us, we want to see how Usyk's going to go, because Derek's going to bring it. He's going to be trying to win. He's not going to be there to try and survive a bit like Witherspoon was. And for somebody like Usyk, if somebody's not trying to win, it's harder to get them out of there because they're so defensively minded at the same time.
Like, I'm not criticizing Usyk for the Witherspoon fight. It was his first fight at heavyweight. You're finding your feet, you know. It's a new experience. He put in a solid performance. He got the guy to quit, got him out of there. but it just didn't dazzle me, the
No.
performance.
Not at all.
You know, no, so I wasn't sitting there looking at it saying, "Oh my God, this guy's unbelievable." So this Chisora fight's just going to give us another look at him, and we can see, you know, if he's progressed and just see what he's got. Because Chisora's a tough heavyweight, so it's a good fight for him.
Yeah, he's definitely the guy. If you're not good enough to kick it at elite level, Derek Chisora is going to find you out. So
yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm probably picking Usyk on points at this stage as well, unless Usyk can make him quit. I don't think he's going to be able to spark Derek whatsoever, but I definitely think there's a possibility he can make Derek quit.
Yeah, has Derek ever quit before?
Against Tyson Fury too.
Oh, yep.
He quit that one. Didn't want to fight anymore because he's getting the shit beat out of him. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Just have a quick look. I don't know if there's anything weekend coming for the heavies. Heavy schedule. There we go. Let us know in the chat if you know of any heavyweight fights that are worth a look this weekend. I'm just having a quick look through some information here. Okay, I've got Sunday, 18th of October. What's the date today? Oh, it's the 19th. Oh, New Zealand, it's the 19th. I did notice there was a German card over the weekend. Christian Thumb and Sinad Gashi on it, but I haven't been able to catch any of that. It was just too big a weekend for all kinds of sport here in New Zealand. We had boxing, we had rugby, there was Bathurst on over in Aussie, there was cricket, there's all sorts of stuff on. So
Bud's got Carol Brook on the 14th of November.
Yes, that's not too bad a fight either.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a look. I wonder what else is going to be on that card.
I think Bud will win that by stoppage.
I think so too. Maybe round 8 or 9 I'd go for. Carl Brook's a warrior, but I just don't think he's quite got enough to get rid of Bud. Bud's a beast, man. He's a dog and he's a boxer. So
yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm still looking through the schedule and haven't seen any names I recognise. 24th of October. That's what we're looking at. Not managing to find anything at the moment. Oh man, looks pretty quiet for next weekend for heavies as well, because it's the 29th, it's the following weekend, and that's the Usyk Chisora weekend. So yeah, a little quiet for the heavies, but I thoroughly enjoyed a weekend off the heavyweights and getting to know some of the smaller guys. Really enjoyed the Barbosa versus what was the other guy's name? It was the fight before the main yesterday. Barbosa went down once in the 7th or 8th round, I think it was, but he still managed to come away with a points decision win. Very competitive. He's an unbeaten prospect. And there was that other kid, the Puerto Rican guy he's now got 15 fights, 15 wins, 15 KOs, and 15 KOs in the first round.
Damn.
So that dude needs to get somebody decent to step in the ring with him. He's a 168-pound fighter. Can't remember his name. It starts with B, his last name, but I'm sure we'll hear more about him in the future.
Rafi's here.
Oh, Rafi's in here.
In the chat.
Oh, Rafi's okay. How are you, Raf? Good to have you in, man. Hope you're doing all right. I seen he did a quick post-fight stream yesterday. He had Scythe Butt on there trying to tell everybody that Loma was robbed. Loma definitely won rounds 3 and 4, and I was like, bro, that's some good bud you smoking.
I saw you make that comment.
Oh, but no, if anybody thought Loma won that fight, I think you're smoking too much or you're drinking too much or, there's something going on. At best, in Loma's favour, I think the best you could give him was a draw. But, like Marla, I scored at 116, 112, and neither of us would argue with 115, 113, but all in Teofemo Lopez's favour. Alright, Phil Carl Roberts, 15 wins. 15 KOs in the first round. They really got to get somebody more decent to get into. I remember the commentators talking to this guy saying, what do you think about your 15 your KOs in the first round streak? He says, well, to be honest, I want to get some rounds, but these guys just keep falling over. But watching him punch, mate, he puts a lot into his punches. He doesn't mess around with trying to touch somebody and set things up. He'll throw a jab and then the right hand has got everything on it every time. So if he comes up against somebody who can evade punches for 3 rounds and he's putting everything on them, he could be in some deep trouble if he starts gassing out quick. So, I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to seeing where that kid can go.
Red gloves on here, cool.
RGM in the house. Good to have you in, brother. There is a link up the top for anybody who might like to jump on and give us their opinion about the Loma Teo fight, how they scored it, and where either fighter can go from here. That's something we haven't touched on, is Teo's been talking about going up to 140 straight away from here. What are your thoughts on that, Marla?
Yeah, yes, I'm just going to look who's he got there. And imagine him facing Josh Taylor. What a fight.
Whoa, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that'd be great.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Man.
I would still rather see him clean up the division, get the what he calls the email belt off Devin Haney.
Yeah, I would like to see him do that actually first. That'd be good. Yeah, definitely.
And you never know, somebody from Loma's team might really want that rematch and offer Teo twice the money that he made from this fight, or 3 times the money that he won from this fight, to have a rematch with Loma.
I'd love to see a rematch. It would really interest me just to see, what because Loma's got a chance of winning the rematch. It's not a sure thing. It'd be a really good fight.
Yep, definitely. You think? Okay, that's an interesting one. Who said that? David Mason. I think Garcia would KO or KO Campbell. Okay. That's not a bad shot though. Mikey Garcia versus Teofemo Lopez at 140. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, it'd be a good fight. I'm sort of more interested in the rematch with Loma, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like if Loma puts his foot on the pedal early, he's a bit more aggressive, it's going to even that fight up, and Loma would have a good chance in it. So I would actually prefer to see a rematch.
Yeah, I agree. Got to finish the business before moving up, man. A rematch and Devin Haney. Whoever wins, those 2 things I think should be taken care of before Teo moves up. He's young enough to be able to maintain the weight for now, so why not, man?
Yeah, for sure.
It'd add to his legacy for sure.
Hey, did you read an article about Deontay Wilder? I saw it somewhere about he reckon he's going to be out for 2 years.
Well, I've heard somebody telling me, apparently I'm not supposed to be letting anybody know where the information came from, that he's sustained a major shoulder injury, and that could keep him out for up to 2 years.
His career.
If so, that's retirement, man. That's out of here, because he's 34 now. If he's not back till he's 36, he'll be like a Luis Ortiz in a Zimmer frame. However, I think Deontay's taken a lot more heavy shots in his career than Luis Ortiz has prior to him being that old, so
He's taken a lot of injury, man. Hand injuries, bicep tears. Now it's shoulder. It's just going to catch up to him, man.
Yeah. If he's done, he's done. But
And if he's done, we want Fury AJ.
oh, I'd love to see Undisputed, but I noticed Matchroom and DAZN have been putting out a lot of content saying, Pulev's a warm-up fight to see how he's going to go against Fury in the Undisputed fight. Hang on a minute. What about Usyk?
That's right. Usyk's with the
WBO.
Chisora. He has to be next, doesn't he?
He does. And because, the last mandatory that was fought for the WBO was Huey Fury and Joseph Parker. That was, 2017 or something?
Yeah.
So,
that was ages ago. He's got to fight Usyk, man. I forgot about it. He's got to fight Usyk. It's only right.
yeah, and Usyk's been sitting on that mandatory position for more than a year as well. I know this COVID has slowed everything down for a lot of champions, but the fact of the matter is, it isn't stopping them getting in the ring. It's the matter that they want more money for those fights, so they need a crowd to get them. But that's not the fans' fault. If boxing can continue, then you want to defend your belt legitimately as a champion. You got to take care of your obligations regardless of what the money is. So, get Usyk fight done. If you beat him, you beat him. If you don't, you don't, and then you can move on to Undisputed. And also at the same time, I think Fury has an obligation to make a mandatory defense for the WBC as well.
Yeah, I wonder who he's going to face.
Well, it's either going to be Povetkin or White, depending how that rematch goes. And that's a week. Is it a week after the Usyk Chisora fight? 2 weeks
I
after.
haven't seen the schedule. I think Povetkin's going to knock him out again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't think Dillian White's got the chin to take Povetkin's power, and at some point Povetkin's going to land on him and just smash him again. I really think so. Yeah, I've never rated Dillian White's chin. He was getting rocked by Joseph Parker. He got sparked out by AJ. I just think Povetkin's going to knock him out again.
Interesting, because I'm not so sure. I think after getting sparked like that, Dillian's not going to want to get hit on the chin again. I think he's going to have to try and be smarter, but at the same time, he's going to be fighting his dog instincts to not get in exchanges with Povetkin. If Povetkin lands something on White, he's going to get angry and try and get even, rather than try and fight smart from the outside. But, I think the biggest fight for Dillian in that is fighting his own instincts to be able to stay at range. But if he gets...
41, but he can still crack.
He sure can. He sure can.
And this rematch is only, when is the, hang on, it's on the 21st of November, so it's not, it's a month away.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
Jeez, mate.
3 weeks.
And that's a quick, for Dillian to be knocked out cold and then to come back so quickly for a rematch, man, that's a big call.
Yeah, I think they only put, 28 days? Oh, no, the British Board of Boxing Control put a bit longer than 28 days on it. They put 48 days on it or something like that, where he wasn't allowed to fight again. So, but that's well past, what was it, early September that fight, was it? The first one. So, I don't know, man. I think it's a good fight. I think it's either going to be Dillian on points or Povetkin by KO, but I don't think, if Povetkin can't get to him by about round 6, maybe round 7 at the most, I think it's going to be all over and Dillian will take it away on points. Even in those...
Yeah, I think if Dillian shows up trim, and he shows up so he can go the distance, if he can get out of the first 6 rounds or so and take him to deep water, I think, he will have the advantage with his youth. It's just, for Povetkin, as you say, it's getting inside in that first 6 or 7 and in the punches.
Yeah. I think because he's lost a bit of speed as Povetkin, he's going to have to be working on timing a lot more and trying to move his head a lot better to get inside. But I noticed in that first fight, Povetkin's legs, I think they're just about gone. Just his legs. I mean, he can still punch. He's still got okay reflexes. Okay, as I say, not good, because he did get caught with 2 shots in that 4th round that he didn't even see coming. They weren't that heavy, but they still put him down. But as they always say, power is the last to go, and if he can time his shots when he does get in range, he could definitely knock White out again. And I'm the same as you. I haven't rated not just Dillian's chin. As a world level fighter, Dillian has always had his limits for me. There's some things he does okay. He's got a good left hook, but nothing else is really that special about him. And for me, it's his dog has gotten him to where he is.
Like he's got a good body attack, got a good left hook. He's prepared to fight. He's prepared to get in there with people, and I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many other fighters these days, man. They're ducking and dodging, trying to make, just trying to grab the cash.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But it will certainly be a fight that I will be watching. I might even commentate live on that one. It's going to be worth a look, that's for sure.
Billion headbutts well, he does.
Yeah, I'll have to work on learning to hide it a bit better. Because it's been pointed out plenty of times that when he comes inside and tries to do a lot of body work, he drops his head and leads forward with it.
Yep. Yeah, man.
So, yeah. Okay, so I think we've pretty much covered everything current at the moment. If anybody else wants to bring up any other subjects, you can always hit that link and jump on and come and do so. But otherwise, we'll give it about 5 and we'll wrap this one up.
Oh, what's happening with the Cruiserweight division? People talking about a new division being brought in. They're adjusting the weights or something. Do you know anything about that?
So was it the WBC was looking at making another division? Since Tony Bellew has become some sort of advisor for the WBC, he's been bringing it up, and I think a lot of it's to do with the jump between light heavyweight at 175 to heavyweight at 225 pounds. You look at the next division down from 175 at light heavy being super middleweight at 168. It's only a 7-pound jump. So how do you justify a 7-pound jump to a 25-pound jump?
That's massive.
And then with the current crop of heavyweights being so much bigger, is there a need for another division above heavyweight being super? And I've seen a few people comment on this, and I dropped my 2 cents as well. I think that cruiserweight limit should go back to what it used to be at 190 pounds. Yep. So that makes it a 15-pound jump, and then make a heavyweight division from 190 to 220. It gives a 30-pound gap there, and then a super heavyweight division after that. But in making this new division, I think you need to get rid of some of the smaller ones too that have only got 2 pounds, 4 pounds difference between them. And I don't think it's even a bad idea to get rid of every junior weight division,
Yeah, I think some people, the purists would not accept the super heavyweight division in the pro ranks. You know what I mean? People will get really... So you'd have to call it something. You'd have to call it cruiserweight and then super cruiserweight or something.
Well, you could, yeah.
And then have the heavyweight division stay named as heavyweight division.
Yeah, that's smart to me. Yeah, that makes more sense. Because heavyweight is the glamour division. It should always just stay as heavyweight. That makes sense.
Have cruiserweight from 190. So you could even have cruiserweight from, say, 190 to 210. Have super cruiserweight up to 220. And then after that, it's heavyweight.
Yep. Yeah, that could work. That's 190 to 210 makes 20 pounds. Then another 20. Maybe even make it 25. The next one up to super, so it's 225 225, yeah. Just make it a little bit more for each division as it should be,
You know, and then over 225, you're a heavyweight. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. And that'd make a pretty competitive division for guys who fight at heavyweight that can't make cruiserweight, but they're too small for being competitive at elite level. You know?
Oh, it'd be great, man. It'd be really great. You think of what David Tua could have done.
Wow.
Back when David Tua was young, I remember they interviewed, I saw a doco and he was going to America to meet Lou Duva. And they asked David what he weighed at the Olympic game, and he said 88. He replied 88 kilos, which was 192 pounds, and he'd never lifted weights.
Yeah.
He'd never done anything like that. But they had to get him on the weights to bulk him up to be a heavyweight. Whereas he was 88 kgs, 192 pounds, so he was just over the cruiserweight limit of 190, so he couldn't be a cruiser. He had to go heavyweight. So they had to get him on the weights to bulk him up, yeah. They asked.
Do you have to make the minimum to get into a weight division? I thought it could be any weight, as long as you went over the limit.
No, he was over. I mean, the cruiserweight limit back then was 190 pounds.
Oh, 190, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and he was 88 kilo, which was 192 pounds, and he'd never lifted weights, so he couldn't make cruiserweight. So they had no choice but to bulk him up and go heavyweight.
Yeah.
Whereas with these weight classes we just talked about, a guy like David Tua, he could have stayed off the weights. He was a natural puncher. At the Olympics, he was sending guys flying across the ring.
Yeah, he was.
So he could have actually, with these weight classes we're talking about, he could have turned pro, stayed off the weights, turned pro at 192 pounds, and imagine what kind of career he could have had.
Wow. And Mike Tyson probably would have been in that division as well.
He would have, yeah. So would have Andy Holyfield.
Yeah.
Yep. Chris Bird.
There's a heap of them.
Oh, there's a lot of them, man.
Yeah.
Jeremy Williams, if you remember Jeremy Williams.
Yep.
He fought around Tua's era. All these guys, man, could have been in those weight classes having amazing careers. Yeah.
Yep. Ikebae Ibuchi, he might have even been in there. I think he was a little bit heavier though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a bit bigger. Yeah, he was 235, 240. He would have been too big. But a lot of the other ones, boy, yeah, man, they could have had would have been really great. Great careers. James Toney.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, James Toney. That would have been awesome.
Kept himself trim and he could have been in those weight classes too.
Yep. The Roy Jones killer, Antonio Tarver.
David Hay.
Yeah. Man, that could have been some awesome fights. And maybe one day it will happen. But I suspect if they make any new divisions, they're still not going to get rid of any old ones. So it's kind of a ploy from sanctioning bodies to get a few more sanctioning fees, but also keeping boxers happy, creating fair divisions for guys like we've just spoken about. So we'll see what happens. I don't expect anything's going to happen in the next 12 months with this virus stuff going on.
Yeah,
but
I'm just looking at a comment from Bill Billy. David did have weight and diet problems. He didn't have those problems early in his career.
No, it's once he started making a whole lot of money.
Yeah, then he started getting fat. Early in his career, he was always trim for his big fights. He didn't have those. Yeah, it was just later on he really let things go.
Yep, pretty much once he went to America, his fame started going to his head. And he got to keep a bit more of his money after being ripped off. I'm not going to go too much into that though, because that's a controversial subject and everybody has their own points of view on that. So, yeah. He loves KFC though. He still loves it to this day. I've seen him on TV at a local fight not too long ago, and holy shit, he's real big now. He's real big. He'll be pushing 400 pounds.
Heart attack material.
Yeah, it's a real shame,
bro.
but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Probably eating because he's not happy.
Yeah, definitely. Or eating because he didn't manage to clip Lennox Lewis. He's still feeling bad about it. But must have made him feel much better once he creamed Shane Cameron.
Yeah, that was something for him, eh?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. that
Oh,
was a
God.
real bad pasting, and you know the referee helped Shane out a couple of times in that fight, and he still got
Oh,
flattened.
it should have been over in the first round.
Yeah,
Should have
Yeah.
just stopped it, mate. Jesus, he was smashed.
totaled.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, that's probably about us for today. Big shout out to everybody who turned up in the chat. Bill Billy, David Mason. We had some others in earlier, of course. Mala2243, who was on the panel. Phil Carl Roberts. Who else we got in here? I saw Boxing None in earlier as well. Hannibal B is also in the house. Good to have you in, brother. And everybody else who I've missed. Red Glove Militant, big shout out to him as well. If you haven't, make sure you get over and give Red Glove Militant a subscription. He's getting close to the 1,000 subs and he definitely deserves it. So take the time to just shoot over there, give him a sub, check out some of his content as well. Good dude. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio also here for a short time, not a here for a good time, not for a long time. And yeah, that's about it for today. So big thanks for joining me today, Marla. Appreciate it. Any last words there,
good to
brother?
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I've been a bit erratic lately, so I'm a bit to blame for that.
The boxing this year's been, it's been pretty average, hasn't it?
It has, indeed. Yeah, looking forward to the big fight in a month and a half or so. I will be there at Spark Arena between Joseph Parker and Junior Farr. I'm hearing that Hemia Hiu could be on the card. I'll just quickly bring up that card, actually, see if we've got any confirmed undercards. And I did hear he might be fighting Junior Putty, but I really hope he's not. That's a big mismatch. For those of you who don't know, Junior Putty is a guy who fought Lucas Brown in a bit of a tune-up over here and got wasted. He's a chubby kind of guy who should be fighting at about light heavyweight, but he's 240 pounds, so there you go. Joseph Parker Box Rick. That'll find it. Event. What have we got here? No, we've still only got the one fight on the card so far. But yeah, I heard Hemia Hiu might be fighting there. Actually, Hemia Hiu had his fight against Junior Putty was actually scheduled for a week earlier or something. They might move that. Or he might clean up Junior Putty in a round or two and then maybe get a better opponent to get onto the card if he doesn't take any damage. Right, Hemia Hiu, here we go. He's still got a confirmed fight against Junior Putty on the 13th of November. So hopefully he can get that out of the way and get onto this bigger card. But anyways, that's us for today. Appreciate you all coming in. Take it easy, stay safe, and we shall catch you next time.
Sweet. Later, Jono.
Right, take it easy, Marla. And take it easy, everybody. So that's it for Big Boys Boxing for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you have, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so not to miss future content. If you'd like to get more involved with the channel, get on the live panel, you can jump over here on the channel and find this Discord invite icon. If you hit that, it will take you to the Discord server. And over here we have multiple ways of getting involved. Firstly, for the live panel, there's this live panel voice channel here. You simply click on it and you're in. Down the bottom here, you got your mic, unmute, and you see your green rings when you're talking and you're away. You can mute when you're not speaking, and to get out, you hit this hang up button. Simple as. Also, we have live fight streams here. Sometimes I will stream a fight to this channel. You can come in here. You can't speak in this channel, obviously, and there will be a video box here somewhere. You just double click on it and it goes straight into what I'm streaming, and out you go. Also here we have watch BBB games. Sometimes I'll stream my Fight Night Champion games here, or Fight Night Gym. Myself and a few others who are in the Fight Night Club sometimes stream our games to this channel, so you can come and watch. You're quite welcome to. Up here we have general chat. This is where we all talk about boxing with what's going on. Everybody's welcome there. We have live fight links here. If I have a link to a fight, I generally drop the links here within 24 hours once I find the link, so you can come and find links here. Fight replays as well. As you can see, I drop YouTube links here if I have them. This one's for the Serenko fight that happened over the weekend, and also I recorded the Fabio Woodley fight, so you can come and click this and you can watch that there as well. There's also the Fight Night chat here, but that's for guys who are interested in playing Fight Night Champion and talking about strategies, how to build fighters, all that sort of thing. But it's easy to get involved, so all you have to do is get over to the to the Big Boys Boxing homepage, and this Discord icon here. Also there's links here for Twitter and Facebook. I don't drop a lot, but news channels, news stories that I don't cover, sometimes I drop the links there, and also a donation link here for anybody who'd like to support the channel. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall catch you next time. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. So